This stuff won't win you partnerships, but it will keep you them. It's just doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it is a vastly underused skill these days. And also, if you want to scale these, if you want to scale partnerships, it's about having the systems there so that you're offering a better service with less effort.
My name's Mike Lander, and you're listening to Higgle, the B2B Sales Club podcast, where we bring you actionable insights about sales RFPs, negotiations, and difficult procurement discussions from sales leaders, brand leaders, and procurement leaders. Please subscribe to get updates when new episodes are released. Dave, thanks ever so much for joining me on Higgle, the B2B Sales Club podcast. Great to have you.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
I've forgotten, how did we get to know each other? Who introduced us?
It was the lovely Becca Lalonde.
It was Becca, exactly. So thanks, Becca, for introducing Dave. I had the pre-record and that was brilliant. So we've got 3 topics we're going to go through. But before we start, Dave, for the listeners, who are you? What do you do? And your favourite song and why?
Okay, so I am Dave. I'm founder at Collaboration Junkie. Most importantly, I'm a dad of 3. I'm from the Southwest, a lover of football, lover of music, lover of just life and being excited by things and connection, really, which leads directly into what I do, which is I'm a nearbound specialist. So I help people, I help agencies and other service-based businesses really understand how to turn friendly human connection into genuine kind of relationships that deliver leads, be that through client referrals or partnerships. Referrals, much as Becca referred me to you. Right?
Yes.
So very apt.
Exactly right.
Oh, and my favourite song.
Your favourite song, let's not forget.
There are way too many, but because it depends.
You got to pick one, Dave. You have to pick one.
It depends on what mood I'm in, but I'm going to go with Canned Heat by Jamiroquai because I'm a big lover of dance music. I'm a big lover of band music, and that's kind of the 2 of them smashed together. I've seen Jamiroquai live a number of times, so I'm going to go with that.
Brilliant. Very good. And it reminds you of happy times and of fun times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes perfect sense. So let's start with the questions. So question 1, what are partnerships? Why are they important for agencies and professional services firms? And how are they different to client referrals? There's a nuance, isn't there, between referrals and partnerships? So just kind of explain all of that for people listening.
Yeah. So the kind of client and network referral piece is great. And you absolutely can put process behind it. One of my things is that you can scale referrals, and anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something. But the thing with client and broader network referrals is that you can make it like asking a favor from a friend, but it's going to be quite hard for them to happen from the same person consistently. It's going to be a little bit more opportunistic. With a partnership, you have gone out and you've intentionally decided to work with another business or individual because they not only have the capability, but they have a vested interest in referring you consistently. Essentially, what you do is you help deliver the end goal that the client wants, that ultimately both you and the partner are going to get judged on, but neither of you offer the complete picture that delivers that solution. So there's this real shared end goal piece. It's not just about a client will refer you just because they want to, just because they love you and they want to do you a favor. In a partnership, it's much more commercial. There is, yes, it should still have values at its foundation, but on top of that, there is this commercial reason for doing it, which is delivering a better end result for the client.
And bluntly, if you haven't worked out what that combined value is and why you need each other, there is no partnership. And it's just really what I would call the kind of gin and tonic and PowerPoint brigade. You'll spend an awful lot of time chatting and meeting up and having a coffee, and it's all complete BS. Nothing will actually happen.
Absolutely. And it also, to your point about why are they so important, look, wherever high degrees of trust are needed in the sales process, and marketing comes into that because it's someone's reputation. Professional service is often about people's money. Like money and reputation are probably the 2 things that people care about the most. Word of mouth will always reign supreme in those instances. But particularly in today's space where trust is at an absolute premium, so many people, I'm not saying all outbound is bad, because I know some people that do brilliant outbound campaigns, full of personality and trust. But because so many people are doing bad outbound, personalization at scale is an oxymoron. All outbound
personalization at scale is not too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've been banging on about this and riding this bloody hobby horse around for months now. So AI mass personalization at scale, it's an oxymoron. It's wrong. It can't work. And buyers know that.
And that's why, and that is why nearbound in general, partnerships and referrals, but particularly the partnership stuff, is so vital. Because in trust-based economies and where trust is absolutely at a premium, no other kind of channel delivers trust like partnerships and referrals. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just give an example. So I'll try one and see if this makes sense. So if your ICP is, I don't know, let's pick something. Let's pick it's consumer and it's fashion. So fashion consumer wear. If you're an agency and you deliver performance marketing, if you partnered up with a tech platform that also shared the ICP, that didn't compete with you, but complemented you, so that if you work closely together, the client gets more benefit, is that what we're talking about in very practical terms?
Yes, but, I'm going to but here, because of the specific partner that you chose in terms of a tech partner. So one of the very first things that I do when I work with people, I have a framework, partnerships, which I know you're all going to come on to, but this is very relevant for the starting point. D.A.N.C.E is my 5-step framework. And the D is discovery. It's a fifth of the framework, but probably a third of the work I do with people. Because it's all about understanding who your partners are and what your partner value proposition is, and really understanding who your ideal partners are. Particularly in the agency space, there's a tendency to have lots of friends and call them all partners. And it's a blessing and a curse.
And by the way, so just to be clear, so again, as everyone knows, I work with a lot of agencies, so does Dave, and professional services firms. For example, in the agency space, a lot of agencies will say, well, we're an SEO agency and we get work from a paid media agency because they can't do the SEO bit, but the client needs it, so we refer them. And so they end up having lots of coffees with lots of paid media agencies, hoping that one of them is going to come forth with loads of different leads. Again, very common, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I wouldn't call that a partnership. They haven't formalized it. They're having lots of chats.
Yeah, and this is where the ecosystem comes in. It's one thing having lots of friends, and I'm not saying don't do it, but it's about understanding where certain people sit in your ecosystem. So I'll give an example, right?
Yeah. So talk through how it works, Dave. Talk through D. How does it work?
Yeah, so the understanding who your ideal partners are, right, then it needs to be a match in values, by the way. Across all of this, you want to have that piece. It's also important to have real alignment on the type of client, because one thing to say, well, we both work with these types of brands, but you need to make sure you're dealing with people who are at the same size and buying capability and all that stuff. So there needs to be more than a surface level alignment in ideal client profile.
For example, if you both work with challenger fashion brands, that's a good thing. But if one works with FTSE 500 fashion brands and one works with challengers and startups, that probably isn't going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. You're at different price points. You've probably got a different
value points, all sorts of things.
Absolutely, that. So get really, really finite on that. But then the broader piece is understanding your ecosystem and the customer value chain. And what I mean by customer value chain, it can be a bit more squished in some sectors, but in the agency sector, you could have a client, so let's say it's a brand, and they have got a thing they want to do. Let's say it's work with bigger brands. And they've got some kind of advisor who they speak to, and the advisor goes, yeah, well, your own brand doesn't really match that at the moment, so they go to a branding agency. They do get that sorted, and then they get their website sorted. And then after they've got the website sorted, or as part of that, maybe there's copy, maybe there's video. After that, they're then going on to the lead generation piece. So maybe they do some outbound, maybe they work with a nearbound specialist like me, right? After that, maybe there's some customer service stuff around how they work with those people ongoing. There's this natural order of things. People visit people in a certain order. When you understand where you sit on that value chain,
i.e. the order of things that a company does to reinvent itself, know where you fit in that order.
Yes. And it could be reinvent themselves. It could be launching a new territory. It could be
evolution, new products. It could be all sorts.
Exactly that. But understand where you fit in that chain. Because the people that come before you on that chain, they are your referral partners. They are the people who will consistently be able to refer you because they do their bit and they hand it over because they are still getting judged. The branding person can do a wonderful job with the brand, but they will still only be deemed a success if the client ends up working with these bigger brands, right? But they're not in control of that bit. So it's in their interest to hand it over. The people that come after you in that chain, they're great partners to have, but you are going to be referring them much more than they're going to refer you.
This is the big problem. I was a partnership manager many, many years ago, and I worked out through very, very, very bad experience that bluntly, this was one-way traffic. And if it's a one-way street, if you've got a big sign that's got an arrow on it and it only points one way, my advice would be don't treat that as a partnership.
So I'm going to challenge you on this because actually it is a partnership, but you just don't set it up as a cross-referral. Like if you're and this is where a partner value proposition comes in. Right. So in that example I gave before, if you're a copywriter, the ideal partner for you is website builder that doesn't do copy, right?
Or branding agency that doesn't do copy.
Yeah, exactly, right. The copywriter's client value proposition could be we write words that convert. Now, I hope it would be better than that if they were copywriters, but you get what I mean.
One would hope so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I'm not a copywriter, so I wouldn't know, but yeah.
But the partner value proposition to the website person they don't go to the website person and go, you should work with us because we can write brilliant copy for your clients. That says, oh, you just want access to my lists. You go to the website builder and you go, we should work together because we'll help you deliver websites that convert. And your project will be quicker because you won't be hanging around on the copy and so you sell the value to the partner. And so even though it's more one way in terms of the lead provision, actually the value isn't, because the value isn't a tit for tat on leads. The value is in it's better for them to work with you. And I'm a big believer in commercializing these partnerships. It's not a kickback, it's a cost of sale, it's a marketing channel. And so that's where the value piece comes in.
And so we're clear, channels have to be paid for.
Yeah.
Like any marketing and distribution channel, that comes at a price. You can't expect it for free. And I'm with you, it's not a kickback. That's a commercial arrangement. You want access to a bigger market. If someone else has got that access to a bigger market, you have to pay for that access.
So between that and a partner value proposition means that is the way that you don't have to set up a agency to agency relationship that's based on cross referrals that is never going to be even because of the nature of this value chain.
But that's a good challenge to the thinking, Dave. That's what the show's about. That's exactly it. Is that my preconception based upon my bias is it had to be both ways. But you're saying, no, it doesn't. As long as you're clear that it's one way and there's a commercial value to the person that is basically bringing the leads, that's okay.
And that commercial value can be money. It can also be the fact that there is this, ultimately the end goal for the client is going to be better. The final result's going to be better. And that's why that is understanding your ecosystem and really understanding the partner value proposition that you bring. Once people get their head around that, all the other structural bits, like putting process behind it, becomes so easy because the partner, suddenly you move from someone where, oh, wouldn't it be nice to refer them where we can to, oh no, we need to refer you wherever and whenever we can. Now, the tech one is interesting. We started this off with, agency and tech, because typically tech comes after agency, right? Like the agency's got the advisor status, they refer the tech in. A tech partner will have lots and lots and lots of agencies they work with. So unless you're providing them with loads of leads, which for the majority of agencies, they're not going to be sending loads their way, you're not going to get leads back from them, by and large. Where you can work really well, though, with people like tech partners is look at them as audience partners. Although they don't have trusted advisor status typically, they have access to a lot of people. And so what co-marketing can you do? And not just them promoting a webinar of yours. Take what you do and wrap it around what they do so it feels really genuinely joint. And then I call that an audience partner. They will put you in front of a load of people, you'll get access to them, and then it's up to you to nurture and convert them through yourself.
So let's talk about the why of that. My approach broadly, less formalized than your dance model with tech partners, is the realization that they're not going to refer me work. They might, but it's highly unlikely for all sorts of much more complex reasons. But what they do want is they want something to say to their prospects and to their clients that they want to upsell. Well, they need thought leadership. What they're often not great at is deep domain thought leadership. So if you can bring that to them and then you co-brand it, that becomes very helpful for them, something to say, really powerful for you if it's the right brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. It's exactly that. But I think what so many people don't get right when they try this is they just try and get tech marketers to push out their normal stuff. And all I'm saying is if you just take an extra little bit of time to think about it and make really subtle changes somewhere so that it feels more joined up with whatever that tech platform does, whether it's whether it's segmentation, whether it's data point tracking, whether it's whatever it may be, just make it a combined story. And you'll get more of these tech partners saying yes, and they'll be more happy to push it.
So now let's talk about D.A.N.C.E. So what is the D.A.N.C.E framework? Why was it called D.A.N.C.E? Why was it called
D.A.N.C.E? Because I'm a massive music fan and it's fun and I love it, right?
Good.
So absolutely nothing other than that, right? But also it's about partnerships, it's about human connection, and you need that to dance, right? And a dance floor is the most joyous, connected place in the world, and that connectivity is what it's all about.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think that's a perfectly logical, emotional reason.
But I mean, my brand's Collaboration Junkie, like all of these things are essentially pre-qualifiers. If you don't like the name of the company, or you don't like the fact that it's a dance framework, well, you're not going to enjoy working with me. So let's just cut to the chase right away as a bit of a kind of a pre-qualifier. We're here for a good time, not a long time, right? So let's do that. So the D is discovery, which is essentially what we've just spoken about, right? It's making sure you're working with the right partners. A is assembly. This is systems and structure, right? Like this stuff won't win you partnerships, but it will keep you them. It's just doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it is a vastly underused skill these days. And also, if you want to scale if you want to scale partnerships, it's about having the systems there so that you're offering a better service with less effort, that it's intentional. And it's things like, it is like the commercial models behind it, right? So it's about going, how are we rewarding our partners? And then when you're looking at client referrals, going, well, how are we rewarding them? Because while you might have a formal partnership program, newsflash, your clients do not want to join a referral program. They don't want it. And they don't want it to be a sales activity. They don't want to be incentivized. Refer us, so we'll give you £100 Amazon voucher. And you go, I referred you up then. But now you've made it sales and it feels icky. Yeah. With referrals, you want to reward them, right?
There's also, Dave, on that point, if you're the CMO of a big brand and you get offered a financial incentive to refer an agency, there's all sorts of reasons why that's a really bad idea. A, they can't, often because of their governance rules. They're not allowed to do that. And B, if they're a CMO of a decent-sized brand, £100, it's going to make no difference. I think if you offer them tickets to the theatre or something, maybe. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
So this is it. Because even if it's a chunkier, more like the partner commissions where it might be a percentage of revenue, that's going to the business, not the person. My whole thing with referrals is that you reward them. You don't incentivize them, you reward them at the end. And you raise an unexpected smile. You don't publicize it, you just do it. You send the gift. And the whole point is that I want you to phone me up after I made the referral to you and go, Dave, there was no need for you to do that, but thank you. And it's because something's arrived on your doorstep. The more personal, the better. Like, yes, a bottle of wine's nice, whatever it may be. But if you really know someone and can do something personal, I once did give someone like £150 Ticketmaster voucher, but that's because he said he hadn't been to a gig in ages. And I was like, right, you and the wife go to a gig. I want to know which one you went to. And he honestly was so made up, right? And it's that type of thing.
And that wouldn't breach any governance rules, Dave. That would be like, that's okay, that's fine. You referred an agency and they said thank you. No one's going to have a qualm with that.
Yeah, and then whether it's agency, whether it's any sector, that thing, there are some sectors where you have to be super, 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 super careful around gifting, right? But in general, most people,
so public sector, so people are clear, public sector, financial services, pharmaceuticals, highly regulated industries, then it would be a bad idea. You would have to really check what they're allowed to have and what they're not allowed to have, because it could get sent back.
Yeah, but in general, that's your safest bet. One caveat to this is if your audience is full of salespeople or commission-driven people, they are extrinsic, they are rewards-driven. And so they probably would prefer the cash, right? It's a cultural thing. It's not necessarily that they need the money, but they're used to, if I do this thing that generates a result, then I get a share of it. And so actually that's probably the one exception to that rule around client and network referrals, was if your client base is full of brokers and salespeople, then incentivize away, because that's what floats their boat.
That's what they do. It's what floats their boat. Exactly right. So what's the N?
So N is nurturing. And this is all about having the right comms in place. So from the very first call with someone through to the key ones, I think, in partnerships are strategic planning and setting expectations at the start of the partnership so that you don't shake hands and then nothing happens. Yeah, and you want to look long term, like where do you see this? Because it might be that your partner goes, well, eventually we want to bring what you do in-house. Now, that's fine, but wouldn't you rather know that kind of going into the partnership, right? And then you want to look, not even midterm, you want to look short term, which is how is the partnership going to work day to day? And then you want to look immediate term. Like, what are we doing right now to capitalize on this momentum? And so many people don't do this. So they're in the exciting world domination stage, but map out who's doing what when and just get yourself started. So that's a key bit of kind of the partner comms process people don't do. But then it's looking at onboarding, it's looking at monthly reporting. It's also remembering to do ad hoc check-ins. So I have this big thing in relationships about using a CRM or a spreadsheet. Like if someone says they're going on a holiday or it's their anniversary or their kid's graduation, make a note in your spreadsheet, in your CRM and get back in touch. I've had people say to me before, like, oh, isn't that a bit manipulative? And I'm like, not if only if you mean it that way. It's nothing. It's the same as a kitchen calendar that's got all your friends' birthdays on there and your family. It's just reminding you to do something that you do genuinely want to do, but you know you'll forget otherwise, right? So,
but it has to be genuine.
100%.
There's a big thing I was taught many, many years ago in selling about trust. There's a guy called Meister who wrote this thing called the trust equation. Trust equals credibility plus reliability plus professional relationship divided by self-interest. So you have to be not self-interested to increase trust. If they see that you're doing this because you want to get a deal, well, that's just your self-interest showing, and that will destroy trust.
Yes, but there is nothing wrong with being very intentional about doing the things you want because you know there's going to be an outcome at the end, but it's not the driver. Most of us don't have time to see our actual friends as much as we would like, right? So we're all in these relationships. We're not in them for friendship. We're in them because we want to deliver better results and ultimately be commercially successful. So as long as it's genuine, as you say, as long as it's not based on self-interest and eroding that trust equation, it's fine to do that stuff. The other big bit of comms in partnerships that people often don't do is strategic reviews. Yeah, but we talk to our partners all the time. Yeah, about tactical stuff. Having strategic reviews allows you to really assess what you could be doing better that they maybe otherwise wouldn't have said about, celebrate wins, but also being curious. Like curiosity is the birthplace of opportunity. And just finding out what's going on in their world, you are not top of your partner's world and top of their mind all the time. So they will say things about something else they're doing that will uncover more for you to do or more for someone else you know to do, and just that being, and it builds the relationship more. So having those set aside, if you can do it over lunch, amazing. Like, so it's about really having a thought out end-to-end journey that's a mix of practical stuff, but relationship building as well.
Perfect.
C for connection.
C for connection. Not C for communication, as I'd gone off-piste.
No, C for connection. And connection is all about how do you make it easy for your partners, stroke referrers, to connect you to their audience. Right. And this could be training. It could be, if it's going to be all about personal referrals, it's like, let them understand when the ideal time to refer is. Let them know how to refer you, like how to position you so they say, yeah. It could be co-marketing that we kind of spoke about with the tech partners already, right? Make it easy for people to do that stuff. Give them the content in the format that they need it. Be helpful, be kind. Like if you've done the discovery part right and had a strong partner value proposition, they will want to put you in front of their audience. And every bit of content you give them is one less bit that they've got to write. Like befriend the marketing manager. The final bit of this, and this is when a partnership works really well, is like clockwork, productize a bit of your service, right? It doesn't mean you sell this as a product, but I mean, bundle something up that you do. It could just be a bit of advice. It could be a report. It could be anything that means your partners can build that into their own customer journey. It could be something that you do for low, ideally no cost, but it means that your partners have an opportunity to proactively put you in front of every single person they work with. And that's when a partnership works like clockwork. And then ease engagement is how do you actually go out there and get more partners. And it's the bit that people obsess over, but it's actually the easiest bit. You don't need loads of partners, you need the right partners. And actually for almost everyone, I'm yet to work with someone where they don't have access to certainly enough to get going with right in their immediate or once removed network, right?
So in a parallel world, this is the same problem that you have in negotiation. D.A.N.C.E is spelt D.A.N.C.E. It is not spelt E.C., etc. And in negotiation, it's the same problem. It's like everyone gets excited by, oh, I've got 20 minutes before I get into the room. I'm going to really enjoy this negotiation. It's like, no. You were meant to prepare for it. You were meant to do all the groundwork way in advance of the meeting. It's the same problem. Everyone wants to start at the end because it's the fun bit. without doing the thinking bit.
It happens all the time when I work with clients. Well, the ones that don't listen as well as they should. We do the discovery bit, and then I know who these ideal partners are, and they're like, right, bam. We haven't done the first call, second call bit in the nurturing bit yet, and then they go, and then once we have, and they have more confidence, they're like, oh, it's much easier now, isn't it? I'm like, yes, it is. So it's very, very intentionally at the end of my framework, because it's the last bit I get to with clients.
So for people listening, they might be in the car, and it's easier to think about it if you summarize it. Explain D.A.N.C.E in 30 seconds what the steps are.
D is discovery. Understand who your real ideal partners are and why they would want to work with you, your partner value proposition. A is having the right systems and structures behind the scenes so you can deliver consistent service and scale. N is nurturing. It's the stuff that builds the relationships so they don't ever look anywhere else. C is connection. Make it super easy for them to refer you or promote you out to their audience. And then last but not least, E is engagement. Once you've got all that right, then you go out there and you look for partners. But it'll be easy because of everything else you've done before.
Brilliant, Dave. And that is a wrap, because normally at the end I say, oh yeah, what are your top 3 tips? Well, it's not 3, it's 5. Follow the dance move.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Dave, it's been a real pleasure. Thanks ever so much for explaining very clearly and opening a door onto a subject that I think is poorly understood, including me, about a systematic approach to partnering and making that commercially successful. Just one last thing for people that are listening and about to turn off, don't. What kind of economic success comes from this? Don't give me the names of companies, but just broadly, in terms of increasing sales, driving sales growth.
Yeah, so I have some silly ones. I had a WhatsApp message from an agency owner who'd spent literally half a day with me on referral strategy. And you like numbers, Dave, don't you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, 82K in confirmed work just off that half day with another 40 in the pipeline. And I've had people like bring in 100K within 6 weeks. So I did, like, if you've already got good relationships, you can actually turn these things on really, really, really quickly. I had to run 3 new signed clients within 3 months of doing a relatively small bit of work with me. So it's big. And I think they're only improving because of what we said about trust. Because
exactly,
it's going to be key. I can only see it. I can only see the need to rely more on relationships increasing over the coming months.
Brilliant. Thank you. Have you written a D.A.N.C.E book by any chance?
Yes. If people head over to collaborationjunkie.com, then it'll either be out, you can buy it, or at the very least, you'll be able to sign up to know when it is released. So yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. Dave, it's been a pleasure. Thanks ever so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to Higgle, the B2B Sales Club podcast series with your host, Mike Lander. Please subscribe so that you'll catch all the next episodes.